Hello everyone. Let me introduce myself first. My name is Muhammad Samsul Jamaludin. My NPM is 17088-22071. I'm from Magister Manajemen, State University of Jakarta. And in this very special occasion, I would like to explain you guys about supply chain management. This is an individual task by Professor Agung Dharmawan Buchdadi in operational management. So, without any further ado, let's begin. First thing first, I would like to tell you guys what supply chain management is. Okay, supply chain management describes the coordination of all supply chain activities, starting with raw materials and ending with a satisfied customer. Thus, a supply chain includes suppliers, manufacturers and/or service providers and distributors, wholesalers and/or retailers who deliver the product and/or service to the final customer. For example, we have an image example here, the process from the farm and then to the grains and then to the brewer and then to the distributor and then to the Sam's grocery and then until it comes to customer. This is the whole process that we can say as supply chain management. And then let's discuss about an article or the journal that I took from International Journal of Science and Research. And this article entitled Supply Chain Management Practices and Supply Chain Performance Effectiveness by Dr. Siddiq Balal Ibrahim Abdul Salam Adam Hamid from Sudan University of Science and Technology College of Business Studies, Sudan. Let's talk about the abstract. Supply chain performance effectiveness helps to provide many direct and indirect benefits for suppliers and manufacturing companies, where it represents the ability to invent and produce solutions that add more value to customers than existing offers. Also, effectiveness adds great importance for both manufacturing companies, supplier network and other parties. By using resources-based view theory, the study aims to identify the effects of different dimensions of supply chain management practices or SCMP on supply chain performance effectiveness or SCPE of Sudanese manufacturing companies. And the quantitative method was employed, where convenience sampling and self-administrated survey questionnaires were sent to 110 manufacturer companies in Sudan. The study has found many empirical results which indicate that the practices of suppliers management have a significant positive effect on supply chain performance effectiveness. Furthermore, the result of factor analysis adds a new dimension for supply chain management practices of Sudanese manufacturing companies. On the other hand, the study has some limitation in its focused on the manufacturing sector. Also, the data were only collected from single respondents in an organization. The practical implications of this study, it may explain to decision makers and managers the importance of supply chain management practices on increase the supply chain performance effectiveness. The definition of supply chain management is the integration of business process from end user through original supplies that provides products, services, and information that add value to customer. Supply chain seems to be common across others than the definition of supply chain management. That's the concept. We can see from these dimensions of supply chain management practices from the authors and then the dimensions, as we can see here, information sharing, customer relationship, and then strategic supplier partnership, material flow management, and corporate culture. We also can look here, there is a strategic supplier partnership, customer relationship, information sharing. Then there are 4 elements like suppliers and customer, information sharing, speed of communication, supply chain features, and etc. until the last one from downline is supply chain practices include supplier partnership, outsourcing cycle time compressions, continuous process flow, and information sharing. If we talk about supply chain performance effectiveness, basically there are two underlying approaches to the concept of effectiveness in organization theory, namely external and internal approaches. External approach to organizational effectiveness, the most widely used effectiveness criterion of a goal attainment model, defines organizational effectiveness as the accomplishment of a set of organizational goals and objectives. The internal approach to organizational effectiveness, on the other hand, is based on a well-managed system and competent internal process. Let's see the data analysis here. This data shows rotated factor loading for supply chain management practice. There are 5 items and 5 components here, such as integration, information sharing, customers and delivery management, suppliers management, and then last but not least, speed of responsiveness. As you can see the whole data here, you can analyze from this rotated factor loading for supply chain management practice. Then there is a Cronbach's alpha here. This data talking about reliability analysis. To test reliability, this study used Cronbach's alpha as a diagnostic measure which assesses the consistency of entire scale, since being the most widely used measure. According to Hare, Black, and Anderson, the lower limit for Cronbach's alpha is 0.70, although it may decrease to 0.60 in exploratory research, while normally considered Cronbach's alpha values greater than 0.60 are to be taken as reliable. The results of the reliability analysis summarized in this table, as you can see, the construct, the variable, the number of items, and then Cronbach's alpha. The next table is talking about Pearson's correlation coefficient for all variables. This table shows that integration is not significantly correlated with supply chain performance effectiveness, and information sharing not significantly correlated with effectiveness, and customers and management not significantly correlated with supply chain performance effectiveness. Suppliers management is not significantly correlated with supply chain performance effectiveness value, and speed of responsiveness not significantly correlated with supply chain performance effectiveness, as we can see in the table 5. There are variables: supply chain practices, W2 information sharing, W3 customers, and etc. Or table 6 shows multiple regressions talking about supply chain management practices variable and the supply chain effectiveness or beta coefficient. As we can see here, there are variables and effectiveness here, such as suppliers management, integration, information sharing, customer management, until F chain. For your information here, there is note that level of significance is P no more than 0.10 and P no more than 0.05 and P no more than 0.000 or 000 here. Let's discuss the result from the data. From the results achieved by data analysis, one of the interesting findings is that the suppliers management practices have influence on supply chain performance effectiveness. The managing of suppliers is considered one of the factors that affect the total cost of the supply chain management, and therefore suppliers could help to reduce the cost and thus may contribute to improve performance through effectiveness. Studies related to supply chain practices in manufacturing and automotive sector find a significant relationship between suppliers and manufacturers' competitive priorities and practices. Also, effective integration of suppliers into supply chains serves as a key factor to some companies to gain competitive advantage. Also, another results show that there are no relationship between integration, information sharing, speed of responsiveness, customer management, and effectiveness. Information sharing sometimes may not have influence on supply chain performance. As a result, companies are uncertain or doubtful that information will be used unfairly to their disadvantages, and this may cause a divergent interest and opportunistic behavior of supply chain partner. For the conclusion is, this study offers a number of managerial implications. First, it provides to the supply chain management managers with appropriate formula for evaluating the effectiveness of the supply chain performance. Moreover, a new dimension of supply chain management practices also developed. Second, the result also indicates that supply chain management practices might directly influence on supply chain performance effectiveness. In the long term, the success of Sudanese industrial firms is heavily may depend on its supply chain practices. And finally, the theoretical contributing of this study that it's provide to scholars new avenues for future research, and as well as extracting new dimension and using a triangulation methodology. I think that's enough for me talking about supply chain management. I'm so sorry and forgive me if there are so many mistakes and lackness from my presentation here. And thank you so much for your nice attention, and see you.